Wednesday, and that means that we are here for Wild Wednesdays with conservation ambassadors, Wild Things. Gabe, so excited to have you here. Tell us a little bit about your organization.
Well, hi, Morgan. Wild Things, Conservation Ambassadors, Wild Things. We're a rescue center based in Auburn, California, actually a little town of Weimar, right above Auburn. And what we at Wild Things do is we give a home to wild animals that might need help. Wild animals that could be hurt and can't go free back out in the forest, or wild animals where we have this huge problem with people trying to make pets out of wild animals. You know, that never works. It's also against the law. Now, we do. So we take these animals in, we work with them, give them lots of love, lots of attention, and I like to say a whole lot of food. And the animals that we can, we train and travel. We travel mostly to schools, give us a chance to share amazing animals up close and personal. Now, like I said, usually we travel to places and give us a chance to share the animals. Obviously, with COVID, we've had to change things up a bit. And so we've been doing these really cool Wild Wednesdays with Washoe County Library. And it's been a highlight of our summer too, coming out every Wednesday, sharing a couple of really unique creatures. Today's program, we have some interesting guests. I know we've seen a kind of a variety over the summer. I want to start with an animal that, well, comes from the driest, or one of the driest places on the planet. Comes from one of the driest places on the planet, a desert called the Atacama Desert. And most people think when they think of a desert, they think of a place that's really, really hot. Well, this desert, it's not really hot. This desert, it's very, very cold. And this animal that lives in that desert has some of the best fur in the animal kingdom. His name is Softy because of that fur. Let me go down here and get him. Hold on one sec. Could also be the cutest animal I've ever worked with. Check him out. Isn't he amazing?
He's so cute.
He is cute. This is the Chinchilla. This is the Chinchilla. And he gets the name Chinchilla because the people that live in the Atacama Desert where he's from are the Chinchilla people. That's where he gets his name. Now, this guy here, he has a super, super dense fur. Biologists say that this is the second densest fur on the planet. The densest fur obviously goes to sea otter. They have just amazing, amazing fur, amount of hair per square inch. But this hair is so, so soft. Now, because it's so soft, this guy here has to take a bath almost daily. He has to take a bath. He's not like John, but he takes a bath almost daily. And to do that, well, I said he comes from the desert, right? He comes from the desert, but there's not a lot of water in the desert to bathe with, but he has to bathe. So you know what he bathes in? He bathes in ash from the volcanoes, from the volcanic ash. And I want to show you. I don't know for sure if he'll do it, but let's see, okay? This is kind of cool. This is a pan full of volcanic ash from the Andes Mountains. And he might bathe in it. We'll see if he does it. It's really cool when he does. Check this out. Did you see that? Look at him. He's bathing in the ash. That is so cool. He's rubbing that ash. He's taking all the oils out of his hair. He's cleaning any of the dirt and debris and keeping his fur in perfect shape so that's great insulator. Helps to keep him nice and warm. It's so funny to me to think of an animal that lives in the desert that has to worry about getting wet. Cannot get wet. If he gets wet, he's in big, big trouble. He might actually get mold and algae growing in that dense fur. Now, at Wild Things, Conservation Ambassadors Wild Things here, we have mostly illegal animals. This guy is not against the law, and they are at times sold in pet stores. And they can make a decent pet if people really buy into it and do a great job taking care of them. But I think he also has a different story to tell. He was almost gone from our planet. They were hunted to the brink of extinction for this fur. People like this fur. They made fur coats out of it. And so many of them were killed for their fur that they almost disappeared. But luckily we stopped, we protected them, and we re-released them back into the Andes Mountains. And now the Chinchilla is doing very, very well once again. The cutest creature with the softest coat here at Wild Things, that is Softy. Let's think about it, Softy. What a good
Softy
boy,
is
Softy.
adorable. Gabe, can I ask a question? How long does a chinchilla live?
About 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 years. It's a decent life time for a small mammal like that.
Yeah.
But about 10 years. Their biggest thing that they face is they have a really important nutrients that they need in their body. They need to get a lot of vitamin C and whatnot to survive. And so they if they get a proper diet, 10 years is easy.
Amazing. Great.
All right. Since we're on cute animals, I'd like to share another cute animal. And for this one, I need a banana. And he's super cute. He's also from South America. He lives in the Amazon rainforest. The chinchillas from the Andes Mountains. This guy's from the Amazon rainforest. And he looks super cute and eats bananas, and he hangs upside down by his tail, but he's not a monkey. He's not a monkey. And actually, kind of a clue as to what he is. He's a cousin or a relative of the raccoon that lives right there in Washoe County, right in Reno. So let me go get him. His name is Nike, like the tennis shoe. Check him out. Hey, Morgan.
Yeah.
Nike's asleep.
Oh, it is afternoon. Yeah. I bet it's a little dark.
I have to wake him up.
Oh, Nike. We'll let you wake up for a second. Is the chinchilla a rodent? Somebody asked.
Yes.
Okay. And is it related to the rabbits?
No, it's closely related to it's a rodent.
Okay.
But that's it. Yeah, the rabbit being a lagomorph. So
just wanted to
this guy. All right.
Oh,
this is Nike. And Nike is a Kinkajou. Everybody say Kinkajou.
Kinkajou.
Yeah, Kinkajou. It sounds like you're sneezing a little bit, doesn't it? Now the Kinkajou, this guy here, he is set up to go through the rainforest at night. And he is looking for two things. He's looking for fruit and he's looking for flowers. Now the fruit he eats, watch this. Isn't that cute?
So cute.
The fruit he eats and the flowers, he does something rather special. He sticks his nose down in the flowers, and inside of his little mouth, his tongue is about 4 inches long. He sticks his tongue in there and he drinks the nectar, and he goes from flower to flower to flower all night long. While he's filling his belly up with nectar, he's also doing a very, very important job. You know what he's doing? He's cross-pollinating. He gets pollen powder stuck to his fur, and he takes that pollen from one flower to the next. He cross-pollinates the nighttime flowers. Without fruit bats and without kinkajous, there are some flowers that only open up at night that would never be cross-pollinated. This guy's a very, very important part of the balance in the rainforest. He doesn't look much like a raccoon, does he? I don't think so either. But apparently, if you took an X-ray of his skeletal system, you could look at his bones, and he has these very special wrists that rotate all the way around. So he can go up a tree head first, he can turn his wrist, and he can come down a tree head first as well. Pretty cool. And only the raccoon family, the Procyonids, have those kind of wrists. Now, look at his face. You can almost tell that he's a nighttime animal, can't you? With those big brown eyes, his big ears. He's completely aware as he walks through his branches at night. Now, he does have a cool tail. His tail is set up so that he can hang by it. It's called a prehensile or a grasping tail. He can grab on the tree branches with that tail. He can hold up his whole body weight. Whoop, he's using his arms. He can hold up his whole body weight with that tail. It's an amazing tool. I think I'd like to have a tail like that. I think it'd be great. I'm always driving home from programs at lunch and have to drive the van with my hands and eat my sandwich. A tail would really help. Very amazing adaptation. Underneath his chin, he has a scent gland, a little oil gland. When he gets excited, this kind of yellow oil oozes out. We can't smell it, but other Kinkajou, they come along and say, oh, somebody here's marked this territory, has taken this spot. Now, Nike, I want to tell you why we have this beautiful little animal. Somebody decided to take away his wildlife, and they tried to keep him in a parrot cage in San Francisco. He was taken away, and he's been here now a long time, over 20 years. He's an amazing creature, and I love sharing him with you, but I wish he had lived his life in the rainforest. That's where he truly belongs. Look how he grabs on. Let's see if he'll eat a little bit more. I think he's pretty cute.
He's adorable, and he's missing out on his important job of cross-pollinating.
That's right. That's right. It's Yeah, I love it when he does get to go out and see. We bring him flowers, and when he gets flowers, it's great to watch him stick his tongue in there and drink the nectar. Watch him eat upside down. He should be in the Olympics, huh?
He'd do well.
He's ready for the. Did you guys hear that squeak?
Mm-hmm.
That squeak means Nike is ready to go. That's Nike. That Kinkajou.
Oh,
Say goodbye to Kinkajou. Oh, what a good boy. All right. Those were two pretty cute animals, huh?
Very.
Yeah. I think we're gonna how about animal number 3, the cutest animal number 3. His name is Linguini. And Linguini, he came to us. There was a 5th grade student in the city of Roseville that woke up on a Saturday morning and he looked out his bedroom window, and there at the window was this animal trying to come in. And he said at first when he told the student told his parents, they didn't believe him. Finally they came and saw for themselves, this animal was trying to get in the house. Well, they called animal control. Animal control caught him up and he was sent to our center here. Amazing creature. His name is Linguini, like the pasta. Check him out. I think he's even cuter than the 2 you met first. So check him out. Come on out here, Linguini. Check him out.
Whoa.
Isn't he cool?
He's so cool.
This is Linguini, and he is the green iguana. He also is from South America. We've got a theme going on here. This guy is from the rainforest in the Amazon all the way up to Mexico. And he survives where some pretty impressive predators. And he survives because of a couple of adaptations. First, his spikes. Look at those spikes on his back. You see those big spikes?
Uh-huh.
Those spikes, they look sharp and pokey. So let's say there's a predator like an ocelot cat, and it comes along and wants to attack him. The cat might come along and say, "Rah!" Wait a minute, he's sharp, he's pokey. They look sharp and pokey, but you know what? They're not. They're actually very, very soft. They feel like soft plastic. They're very, very soft. Oh, he's falling asleep.
He loves it.
Oh yeah, he's a sweetheart. I told you he was cuter than the others. This guy here, he has these spikes. They look like they're protection, but they're actually not. He also survives because of this dewlap. Look at that dewlap. You see this big fold of skin?
Yeah, somebody's asking about that.
That dewlap right there, that is so that this guy here, if he's out there and he wants to look tough, he kind of throws that dewlap in and out. He makes himself look so big and so tough that other animals say, "Whoa, he's huge," and they might leave him alone. It's a pretty good defense. I think it's such a great idea that I'm working on my very own dewlap too, Morgan.
I think
Great
we
idea,
all
huh?
are at a certain age.
Yes. Now his tail. I don't know why he's eating that banana peel. Isn't that cool? We don't waste anything here at Wild Things. Look at his tail. 4 foot long tail. His tail, 4 foot long. He uses it 3 primary things. Number 1, it's a wick. Another creature gets too close, he can slap it silly with that powerful tail. Number 2, his tail is how he swims. He gets in the water, he tucks his arms and legs like this, he pumps his tail, and he can swim as fast as a crocodile in the waterways of Central and South America. The third way this tail helps him is there are weak spots. Every 4 inches or so, there's a weak section of the tail. Weak spots, how does that help him? Well, let's say another animal attacks him, bites on his tail, pulls really hard. What happens to the tail? It falls off. It separates. I don't really like to say falls off because this is part of his body, but it does come separate, and the tail laying on the ground all by itself starts to wiggle just a little bit. It wiggles, and you know what the rest of the iguana does? While that tail's wiggling, the predator might look at the wiggling tail, and he gets a break. He makes a break for it, and he races up a tree. He can climb any tree, 30, 40 feet up in the rainforest canopy. He goes right up a tree, even without branches. But a cat can climb the tree too. The cat chases him up right before the cat gets him. At the last second, you know what he does? He fills himself up there, and he jumps. From 30 feet up, he jumps. He hits the ground. He goes, oof. I made that part up. He hits the ground. He lets his air out, and he doesn't get hurt. If we jump from 30 feet up, we'd be in really bad shape. This guy leaps out of the tree, hits the ground, takes off running. Pretty cool. Another animal that is sold in the pet trade. They're sold in the pet trade, and you know what? I love reptiles, and I got my first pet snake when I was in second grade, and I would never ever discourage somebody, but these guys require a lot of very specialized care. That it's very, very difficult. Unless you're really a committed reptile keeper, I would not suggest the iguana. Maybe a bearded dragon or a corn snake can be very easily housed. He's very charismatic, isn't he?
He is, and so he's quite, and they're a little bit larger than, say, a bearded dragon too.
They're a little bit, yes.
Harder.
This guy can get up to 6 feet, so he'll get to be another foot and a half on his length there. I think he's an amazing creature. That's the green iguana, and well, what color is he? It's kind of orange, not so green. But this guy here, if he were in the wild, he would be eating more leaves, and he'd be a little bit greener coloration. This shows when he was younger, he had a little bit too much protein. All right, he's figuring everything out right there.
Linguini, you are amazing.
I think so too. Good boy, Linguini.
How long does the lifespan of an iguana?
I've seen iguanas live to 25 or 30 years.
Wow,
that's pretty good, huh?
That's amazing.
There's something to be said for a reptile life. If you take life slow and easy, you might live a long time. So it's one of those things. You just gotta be cool when you live a long time. All right, we're finally gonna get out of South America.
Okay.
And I'd like to share one more with you. He's from Australia, and this guy, he's just a baby. He's just a baby, but he is one of the largest lizards on the planet. Check him out.
Whoa.
This is the Argus monitor. Isn't he cool? The Argus monitor lives in the grasslands of Australia. He lives alongside kangaroos and wallabies and down below the koalas. Now, I said he's one of the biggest lizards on the planet. One day he'll be 2 or 3 times the size of the lizards you see right now. And he has this really cool adaptation where he stands up on his back feet and he stands up on his tail, and he'll stand up, and it's called tripoding. He'll stand up and look way out over the tall grasses. It's so cool. And when he does that, he can see whether there's a predator that might bother him around, or he can see maybe if there's something that he might consider prey himself. He likes to eat birds. He likes to eat he likes to eat small rodents. And his favorite food is eggs. He loves eggs. Yes. Now that tongue, he sticks his. Can you hear that, Morgan?
Yes, I can.
It's cool, huh? His tongue. He sticks his tongue out. He grabs a little piece of air. He brings air back in the roof of his mouth, and he can tell what's happening in his world. He touches his tongue. He knows there's warm bodies out there. He also knows we're not something that he would consider prey. He's molting here or peeling. Let's see on the side. People say the shedding. They don't shed in one piece like a snake. They particulate. They have these little pieces. You see right there, it's coming off. And underneath, you'll have that beautiful yellow coloration alongside of the black dots. In Australia, they also have a lizard called the iguana. It's another monitor lizard. Really fascinating animals. Great swimmers. They use that tail just like the iguana does as a swimming tool. And they get to be very, very large and very, very fast. He's cool, huh?
He is. Is the hissing? Is he upset?
Yeah, he's hissing at Becky, I think.
Oh, okay.
He's just saying, "Oh, there's a camera pretty close." So
he's very aware of what's happening.
He is very aware, very intelligent too for a reptile. Very, very bright. I think it's totally cool. That tongue, just like a snake, they'll stick the tongue out, grab a little piece of air. They'll bring the air back in the roof of their mouth, touch their tongue, and you can tell exactly what's happening in this world. It's such a cool process. They utilize the Jacobson's organ, which is that small little dip in the top of the roof of their mouth. And they can tell. It's like they're actively processing the air. Pretty cool. That's little Steve, named after Steve Irwin, the Argus monitor. All right. Say goodbye to Steve.
Bye, Steve. Thank you for making an appearance. Just for everyone out there, Becky is our fabulous filmer or photographer. She's behind the camera. She's done great this whole series.
Thank you.
Yeah. I want to thank you again, both of you, for being here and doing what you do. We know it's so important, and we're glad that we can give you a platform to share that information. One of many, I know. It is one of my very favorite programs. Beate is here. She is our youth services and events manager, so she wanted to give you a big thank you before we head off today. This is our last Wild Things. Again, check out washocountyllibrary.us if you want to see more of our virtual events. Gabe, Becky, you're the best.
Thank you. We sure enjoyed it. Can't wait to get back out to Camino.